Friday. To this now, South African National Parks, SANParks, they've issued a statement announcing the closure of portions of Table Mountain and Tankwa National Parks in the Western Cape due to severe weather conditions. This decision comes amidst ongoing flooding and heavy snowfall affecting the region. Joining us to provide insights into these closures and the current situation is JP Louw, Head of Communications at SANParks. JP, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate it. Perhaps let's start here. Could you elaborate to us on the current situation regarding the closures of Table Mountain and the Tankwa National Parks, especially given that the South African Weather Service has issued renewed severe weather condition warnings for the Western Cape?
Well, good. My side is actually good evening because I happen to be in Beaufort West at Karoo National Park where the sun has set already. But really thank you very much for having us. From our own observations, I mean, the rains today seems to be giving us sort of like a break, especially in your Western Cape area. And you know, after having to take some drastic steps yesterday, we're in a situation where some parts of hiking trails remain closed, but other parts really were a bit relieved that we're able to open up. If I, for example, refer to Bontebok National Park, which is close to Swellendam, you'll remember yesterday we had to close it to day visitors. It is now open, so hiking trails in the park are still closed, but day visitors are welcome there at the moment. We had to close the hiking trails because of flooding, whilst the rest camp and day visitors are able to access the park. Then at Tankwa Karoo National Park that you are referring to in particular, the main access road from Sirius is now open as the river that's around there has subsided a bit. So visitors are able to visit, but we really appeal for caution. Those who go there must exercise caution because of the wet and muddy conditions on the road. And then there's really a number of interventions we've taken around Table Mountain National Park. At Table Mountain National Park, our accommodation sites are still closed. We really call also for caution there on hiking trails because it's wet and slippery conditions. That's what we had there. And then some of our roads and trails are inaccessible due to rain and fallen trees and mudslides.
Yeah. What are the conditions that led to this? Is it merely the severe weather conditions? And if so, when do you predict and expect the parks to open up once again? Are restoration projects and initiatives underway?
It's a bit tricky because you can't really dictate weather to that extent. I mean, you have to rely on the South African Weather Service's predictions. And based on that, you do your own planning. But you would know me and you. One day you'll be told it will be a warm tomorrow, then you wake up and it's all nippy weather that you have to deal with. So we can't definitively make a commitment about what is going to happen tomorrow. But what we can say definitely is that, you know, we have personnel, our rangers, the teams that are there, they have this ability just to respond quite swiftly to situations like this. I mean, some of the stories I can tell you, you'll be very amazed. In a place like the Tsitsikamma section of Garden Road National Park, at one point we had floodings there as well, and some of the accommodation facilities was affected. And really in a space of about 48 hours, the rangers were able to bring those facilities to back and stream. So one is fairly confident that our capacity to turn things around remains solid, but it would really be overstretching it if I was to say to you, I know what's going to happen tomorrow otherwise.
Yeah, there certainly is a concern of loss of revenue here, but just remind South Africans just how affordable SANParks actually are across the country, particularly the Table Mountain, for those who do want to continue visiting as day visitors, but also those that will come back as residential visitors in your accommodation centers when these locations open up again.
Look, we have like about 21 national parks that we are responsible for as South African national parks, and really access to these vary from area to area as well. I would appeal that one familiarize themselves with the details that are on our website if they want to go. What I can though affirm is that we've come up with a price structure that looks both at South Africans to make it cheaper for them to access the parks, and then also looking at those from the Southern African region, as well as, of course, those that goes beyond our borders as well in the different parks that would be going to as well. So we certainly would be happy to welcome many of our visitors, but for us, visitor safety is primary, as well, of course, our own personnel as well. We have to make sure that they too are safe, as both we're going through the severe weather conditions, but also having to look at how do we fix this. Can I just be exploitative for the benefit of those who are in the Cape Town area, just to indicate that with Table Mountain National Park in particular, some of the trail closures that we have is at Silvermine, Overpad Trail due to erosion, then also in East Walkway, there's also Silvermine erosion there as well, then in the Riverwalk Trail. So all of those in the Silvermine area, please stay away from those hiking trails. The overnight hiking trail that's at Cape Point, please stay away from there. The Jonkersdam Jeep Track, the road also that goes to Overseer's Cottage, as well as the road to Olifant's Cottage and the Smithswinkel and Slankop tent camps. Lastly, let me just refer as well to the sinkhole Boyse-Skerm that's in Cape of Good Hope. Please, all of these areas, those who are within the locality would know this. Let me actually just go back to your point, because I think I didn't answer it full. You know, Table Mountain National Park, by the way, has a number of free access points, so you don't really pay to enjoy the bigger part of the park. There's only certain part that you have to pay for access. So, but those who are staying in the area would know that as well. And lastly, just to say that from a side of damages, I mean, we've had fallen trees around Rhodes Memorial, Orange Kloof, as well as the upper Jeep track that's near to the Villiers Dam. So, you know, those are the challenges that we're going to have to be dealing with. We've had tents that have been damaged. Our tented camps, as well as roads, have been damaged in Table Mountain National Park. So, but it's also too early to give you conclusively the extent of the damage. But we've suffered damages.
JP Louw, Head of Communications, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Speaking of adverse weather conditions causing damage